VSC day. Yay.
Most dangerous show of the week. Good morning.
Hello. Oh, I'm still cooling off from being outside. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The virtual shopping edition.
VSC. Woohoo. Okay. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner. What? I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in sunny and going to be hot downtown Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there. It's gonna be.
You are dressed for the weather. I'm as dressed as I will be for the weather. What are you saying?
It's gonna be hotter than yesterday.
I still don't have my name tag on. I drank my coffee this morning though. Hotter than yesterday.
Yesterday we got to like 87 downtown.
We're gonna be like 92, 93.
Yeah.
We will come in for AC breaks when we're outside. We have in-person sit and stitch this morning, which you know by the time this video goes up, it will probably be over. It's not slated to rain until this afternoon, so
yep.
I'm planning to sit and stitch outside if I have time.
About the time we're getting ready to go home.
Oh, I thought it was going to rain earlier than that.
Maybe.
We can never tell.
Nope.
Never, ever, because tropical rainforest, right? Temperate rainforest, temperate rainforest, temperate. Whatever the difference is, I know that we're not tropical, we're temperate. It rains a lot. I would not call Brevard tropical.
No.
We're in the mountains. Anyway. So today's the day that VSC virtual shopping channel. Today is the day that we show you things we have in the shop. And if you make sure they're in the product of the week category online or come into the shop, and online shoppers, once it's in that category, it means I've fixed all the back end stuff. And until we film again on the following Wednesday, you save 15% if you use the code product of the week with spaces at checkout. It's not automatic. I haven't figured out how to do that on my site yet. You got to use the code, and then I can swap things in and out, and that code will always work on the products I've put in that special category. So I haven't really had breakfast this morning. Excuse me. So I'm going to try some little breakfast bars. I'm trying not to do like the what is it? Not subliminal advertising. Is that where they like casually put a product in?
That's where they cut in with like microsecond pictures.
Well, that might be another version.
That's subliminal, where you.
Well, then what's the one where it's product placement? Is it just product placement? I'm not being paid to endorse this breakfast bar, and I just saw it. That's why I didn't show you the label. I was just like, well, it has fruits and veggies in it, so I'm pretending it's healthy. I know it's gross, but I didn't have my bagel with peanut butter this morning. This is strawberry and squash.
Oh, that's gross.
It doesn't really taste like either of those things. It tastes like there's something fruity in the middle of this. I feel like all the bars with fruit in the center just kind of taste like they have squishy something in them with a little bit of tang. I know it grosses her out.
I'm like the pickiest person anybody.
I don't like different textures usually, but it's different slimy textures. Like this is not two different slimy textures. And if it was just like a Nutri-Grain like granola bar thing, like just a crunchy granola bar, that's not interesting enough for me. It's like with my knitting lately. It's like, ooh, that looks complicated. I saw a sweater this morning. That made me want to repurpose the Cascade 220 that I was going to do the cardigan out of. That was kind of cable-y. This one's like full blown. It's based on a Dairy Girl sweater. Full blown. It's called the Billy sweater if you want to look it up with IE for Billy. Full blown like honeycomb side cables, like Irish Aran sweater. So tempted. Because all I've done on the cardigan
is the pockets, which are the gauge, your gauge swatches.
Kind of. Speaking of gauge, total aside. I realized this morning, so my sweater, that's the fingering weight Cascade Heritage Silk and the color changing mohair that I have one sleeve left on.
Yeah.
That sleeve's on stitch holders. I don't remember what needle I was using. When I go to do that extra sleeve, it might come out the same size, it might not.
This is why.
I should have taken notes. What?
No. I leave my needles in the project.
I usually do too, but I finished a sleeve and I should have put the still getting nutrients to my brain. I should have put the needle in the other sleeve. I know that. I'm fully aware of that. That was months ago. Did it happen? No. Okay. So
we like to live dangerously though. So, you know,
you
don't tie up your tail, you know, leave your needles in.
I like to be a living example of what not to do.
It's true.
At times. Okay. So we have one yarn and 2 notions to put on sale today. Your hair just went poof.
It did because it was falling down the back and I'm trying a new poof.
Y'all just have to be patient while we squirrel. I'm sorry. For anyone new, hello, this is us. For anyone who's been watching for a while, you should be used to this by now. Okay. So, that was the other thought I had was the stitch markers, but we'll do that another week.
Okay.
No, because that's a whole lot more stuff to get all of them up.
Yeah.
I think this was a good choice for today.
Yeah, okay.
I think it was my choice, but still, I think it was a good choice.
I was here on time and set up.
For how I have been coming in lately, I was also here on time.
You were actually.
I went to the grocery store before coming here and I still got here at like just after 9. For me, that's pretty amazing.
We did discuss ideas last night on what to put up, which we always occasionally sometimes do. And that makes no sense. Always, occasionally, sometimes do. Anyway, and then I'm expected to remember them overnight.
She's not expected to, but it's really nice when she does.
I remembered like 2 out of 5.
That's like 60% of the time you're right all the time, whatever that real is. And it's like, that makes no sense. But that made less sense that there's a real, okay, so I'm watching Schitt's Creek right now. Like I'm binge watching it. And first of all, I'm trying really hard not to sound like Alexa. And second of all, like all of the reels that are using sounds from Schitt's Creek when they come up in the process of watching, I'm like, oh, I know that one. And one of them is like, it's David, I'm going to mess it up, but it's like, I've never heard so many words in order consecutively, like so many wrong words in order consecutively, one after the other. And it's like, yours wasn't redundant. Yours was just all over the place.
All over the place.
I grew up in a house that had a note tacked to the side of the computer of don't use redundant words that you don't need. Like that was humor in my house growing up of the joke is that, yeah, there's words you don't need in it because it's redundant. Anyway, moving on. We got a new yarn in a while ago, but we only got one color in and we finally got the other colors we ordered in. So we have a limited range of this really fun cotton yarn and it's stinking hot out and plant fibers tend to breathe a little better when it's stinking hot out. So I thought we would show it to you and sell it for 15% off this week.
And it's new and exciting.
Well, this one color of it is not as new, but still exciting. One of our knitters, shout out to Carol, has made at least one shirt with 2 different colors of this yarn, only one of which she could get from us, which is why one of these colors we only have 5 skeins of. And the other colors we have 10 skeins of, but she had to go to another store to get the other color because it was back ordered and we finally have it in. So yay! It is a color changing cotton. I think it's so pretty. So, and it's called Berroco Vivo. Excuse me. Liz, why don't you read some stats?
It is 100% cotton.
100%.
You get 317 yards per 100 grams. It is considered a DK. They're recommending a 4mm needle or a US 6 and a USG for a hook, which is also 4mm.
Yes.
Care instructions. They're on the other side of the ball band.
Oh, it's early. Okay.
What? Machine wash in cold, on delicate, lay flat to dry.
I would lay anything you've handmade flat to dry if possible. There's a few exceptions to that. Just be really careful with dryers and things. Cotton, I think, keeps its shape better if you don't put it in the dryer. But so here's some fascinating stuff about this. They are calling it a DK and suggesting a 6mm needle, that kind of stuff.
Or
I meant a US 6. What she said. Listen to what she said. It has the appearance of like a single ply. There might be more than one ply in there, but it has the appearance of a single ply, and it's got the littlest hint of texture to it, like a little wibble wobble. It's not necessarily a smooth, consistent.
There's some thick, thin.
That's what I mean by that little bit of texture. So like Ultra Pima. So they're both cotton yarns, right? Ultra Pima is a yarn that it's this smooth, twisted sheath. Right, the yarn that I'm using for the cotton we talked about last week. This is the cotton we talked about last week that really feels like it's got multiple plies and it's pretty smooth consistency. This was the Cotton Supreme DK Waves. These are the two side by side. I think this one's thinner. The one we're talking about this week, the Vivo, is thinner, but they're still calling it a DK. It's on the thinner end of DK. I think you might be able to get away with using this for sport weight patterns. However, just know that the stitches will be tighter. If you want it loose and flowy, then treat it like a DK.
The drape will be
changed. Yes. Did we say what we're retailing this for?
We are retailing it for $16.75.
$16.75. I mean, if you check out the yardage, I forget what the Cotton Supreme DK has. I want to say it's only like 250 yards, maybe. And this is 300 and how many? 317.
317.
And cotton usually is heavier on a strand of the same size as wool. It will weigh more on the scale, so you get less yardage out of 100 grams. So this has that many more yards, means it's thinner. So again, yarn companies are doing all kinds of crazy things with how they classify the weights of yarn lately. So you can't necessarily go off of the yardage per 100 grams and say, oh, it's this weight, because they might have classified it as something different. It's this thickness, it'll work for these patterns. Which means, honestly, there's some trial and error to what patterns are going to work for what yarns. But like this is another kind of looking like a single ply, little bit of texture yarn. This is the Belviso, not on sale this week. And it's classified it more like a fingering weight. You get like, here's a random skein of the Belviso. You get 394 yards, but it's got that almost single ply, little bit of texture to it. This is that yarn knit on a 6 needle, a 4mm 6 needle. And the drape, it's so soft and drapey and crazy. Same thing might happen with this. It's a little thicker. The reason we brought this in is because it has multiple colors in one skein. We have a lot of cotton. It's like same thing, reason we brought this in. This changes, most of the color change happens with the one we talked about last week over the course of one skein. Like you might get a second color repeat in there, but it's a long color change like this. This is also crocheting with the Universal Cotton Supreme. So it'll change even slower if you're knitting with it. This will change colors a little faster. Like if you take a look at this one, the one we've had in stock, there is a little bit of this like goldeny orange and light yellow and and light lavender purple. It's got that kind of stone washed look to it though of the Belviso. Not as stone washy, but kind of this faded. The faded color thing seems to be really in this year. Yeah.
The one we are holding is called Breeze.
Breeze.
Yes.
I want to say the other ones might not have the names on them.
They don't because we haven't stickered them.
I was gonna look it up though as we talk. So this one's called Breeze. It makes me think of fall, but then with some lavender in it. It's really pretty.
Most a sunny, like
there's maybe a little bit of some brown in there, light brown. Yeah. So
it's pretty.
It's called Breeze. Why don't you pick another one and I'll look up the color names.
We'll do the blue.
Let's see. Oh, by the way, this is the sweater. Oh, okay. Squirrel. Blues. Let's see. Berroco. I could also look on my computer because when I put them into the system, I had names with the numbers. But patience is a virtue. So describe, it's not just blues. What else is
it? Is like there are blues, there are aquas, there are purples.
Mm-hmm. There's the bright aqua and the deeper blue, again, all with a little bit of stone washed, like,
and the purple
not like
a little bit
saturated.
more purple than the lavender in the yellows.
No, I hit vintage instead of Vivo. We don't carry vintage.
We don't. It is a nice, like, it looks ocean sky.
It's called Rain.
It's called Rain.
3533, right?
3533.
Okay, I'm gonna blow up their little sample pictures of how it knits up. And the one we just talked about, Breeze.
Mm-hmm.
Here is a sample of how it knits up. It's got those warm tones and then that little pop of lavender. I think that's super cute. What we got next?
We got 3528. It's greens and it looks like a gray purple.
Mm-hmm. It is called Sprout, and there is how it knits up. Just
it's
a little
light greens and
like
dark green, or
it's pretty.
Darker,
like
medium
this has
greens.
A warm lavender in it, and this has a really cool lavendery purple in it. Different purples in there, and this one's a little closer to the warm purple.
Yeah.
All right. What next?
Then we have 3525. It's
3525.
Rainbow.
That's called Bloom. It's pastel rainbow because again, pastels are really in. It's called Bloom.
You have yellow and aquas and purples and pinks and oranges and
the stripiness. Like when I'm looking at these samples, the stripiness might have like some yellow, or like it's pink and it fades to yellow, but then there's a little stripe of pink in it jigger juggers when it shifts colors. I think it's a really pretty effect. So what's next?
Then we have our neutral. It is 3514.
3514 is called Dewdrop. And yes, it's got a lot of kind of really washed out neutral tones, but then this little pop of rose, of like a dusky rose pink.
It even looks like there's some really pale, dusty green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
what the knit up sample has some, and like some of the green in it. Some of the green of this, but it's super washed out. So that's going to make the pink really kind of pop. It's fun. So that's Dewdrop. And it looks like, the gray part of this is almost a blue gray.
Yeah.
I liked that idea of having some bright and some pale. All fun. If you go on Berroco's website and look at Vivo, VIVO, you will see some patterns they've made for summer tops that use two of the colors. And our knitter Carol has knit some of them. And so she could report back when she has a chance. She's traveling right now on what it's like to use multiple colors. But
I think she's done 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, there's a whole series, and she's trying most, if not all of them, out over the course of working with this. Like I could see these colors. I want to say she might have used these colors. Like she did some really. We don't have the whole color palette in, first of all. We have 5 colors, but I think it gives a good range of options. So this stuff is 15% off with the code product of the week. And then we have 2 notions this week. We're going to slowly start easing in some of the fun stuff we got from Katrinkle's over during the yarn crawl. And I have not put everything online. And so this might help me get things online. We have an order coming in from Katrinkles, by the way, with those sock rulers. They're not on sale this week because we don't have them in yet, but we should soon. So if you wanted one of those sock rulers, we should have more in stock soon. We'll keep you updated. The one that we're talking about this week, though, is the gauge we got. We're super excited about this. Look. You're like, I'll do it too.
It'll be a good screen thing.
Okay. So if I can find it again. So first of all, it has our logo on it. Yay, it's got a little dragon. Fantastic. It has the 2x2 inch window. So it's a lot like the Susan Bates one, the metal one, where you can plop this over your knitting. Like if I wanted to put out, say this was my sample, and I put this, I like a flat window option for a gauge rule so that I can put it over and line up my V's for knitting or line up my stitches in crochet and count what's in the window. Oftentimes gauge on a pattern will be for 4 inches. This window is 2 inches, and then you can take your stitch count and multiply by 2 and see if it fits the gauge. So like this one, 1, 2, I'm counting my V's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hopefully my gauge was 18. That's what size this is coming out. So, and then you can count rows too, although I find it really hard to do stitches and rows and get them both to match, but that's a whole nother thing. So that's one thing that it has, which is lovely. It also has, what sizes, Liz, for the needle gauge? So you can stick your needles
the
in.
needle gauge goes from 0 to a 17.
All right. And so let's see. So like, as I whack myself with my needles, say I couldn't read my size on this. There's 2 ways to do this. You can go from the smallest and say it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Oh, look, it slides right in and fits. That means it's a 1.5. It's a US 1.5. And it lists both the US size and the millimeter size on it. So you can figure out what size your needles are. Going up to a 17 for a non-commercial brand, custom made, is pretty good. The Susan Bates goes even bigger now, but that's a pretty good range. And it's got the half sizes for socks, the 1.5 and the 2.5. Not everything has that. And then the reason we got this, see how it looks like it something went wrong when they made it? No, something went so right. We got a wraps per inch tool on here. So there's a notch in the top and bottom. You can see it a lot better on hers because I'm putting it up against my really bright. Yeah, if I put it up, see that? See the notches in the top and the bottom? That is so, it's one way, especially when the manufacturers are calling everything a 2 or a 3 or whatever weight. It's one way if you have a random skein of yarn that you can try to figure out what the weight might be, what the thickness is. So how you use this, I hope you don't mind, listen, I'm just doing everything. Too late. Is I would lay it, and I should really use a darker color yarn. Let's see. Oh, let's see what the Belviso does. This might, let's see if that shows up. It's not really darker. It kind of shows up better. What do you think? Should I go find some darker yarn? I'm looking at what I have and like everything is kind of thick. Hold on,
I'll find you a thicker yarn.
Find me a random yarn that's dark, Liz. So I'm going to wrap it from one end to the other of just strands laying side by side. What about the stuff down there? Because it's, okay, never mind. I have this random piece of yarn. I wonder what thickness it is. So she was looking in the drawer with all the bits and bobbles, and I'm like, are there going to be long enough bits and bobbles in there? What I would do is I'll start on this side. Oh, that shows up much better. And I'm going to wrap, laying the strands next to each other. I'm just going to let that roll off. Well, no, I caught it in my lap. Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily pull it like
super,
super
I'm trying
tight.
Not to stretch it because that's going to change its thickness. I'm trying to like gently wrap it. I'm trying to also do it at an angle so y'all can see. While I do this, Liz, what are we retailing these for?
We are retailing these for $17.95.
I'm going to have to let that fall on the floor.
Which, you know, you get the wraps per inch, the needle gauge, And the measuring window.
And our logo.
And our logo.
And these are custom made by Katrinkles.
Yes.
They're a wonderful company. Really fun to work with. Okay. Roughly there. I have wrapped and tried not to pull too hard. And I've filled from one side to the other. Flat. Nothing overlapping. Flat. And I'm going to count my wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I got 11. I'm going to count one more time. I feel like my words got ahead of my fingers. 1, 2, 3. I'm getting 11 wraps per inch. And underneath this, they say so many wraps per inch is this weight. So let's see if I undo this.
11 is a DK and a 9 is a worsted.
Okay. And sometimes there's a range. Like if you look on Ravelry, sometimes there'll be a range. So if I had one that was 10, it's between a DK and a worsted. It means I might be able to use it for either pattern, right? Aran is considered an 8. Aran is like a heavy worsted. Bulky is 7, all that kind of stuff. Lace 16 plus. And so this yarn, do we remember what yarn this is?
That's Axis.
Oh. So Axis, and I would put Axis, Lily Kate makes Axis as, and I was pulling on this again, remember a little bit. I would put this as a light worsted or a DK. It's true. They call it a worsted because again, I think they want you not to knit it on too tight of a needle. So they want you to go on a bigger needle. So a lot of yarn companies, like again, this is sport in my opinion, but they've labeled it as a DK. So the wraps per inch here might give you a different idea of what weight something is.
Yeah.
So, but that was fun, right? So we have some of these in the shop and they're super awesome. And you can show your Sun Dragon pride and have a super functional multi-tool. That's our second thing for today. So that was fun. I want to like use all my yarns. So yeah, but that's why we got this. And for all you crocheters out there, this kind of needle gauge only works with some kinds of crochet hooks, like ones that are straight and have an end that you can actually put in here. So like this is, oh my gosh, my eyes are getting old. Oh, I'm like trying to read it sideways and I can't read it. And I'm like, it's because I'm not reading it the right way. I'm like, my eyes suck. Well, not totally. Okay. So this is a 3.5 millimeter of 4. And this will basically fit in there. So if they're smooth on the back end and the back end is the same size as the workspace up here, you can tell what size your crochet hook is. A lot of crochet hooks have like an oblong head maybe, or they have a handle on it for you to hold. That won't work with this. We are trying to bring something else in that will, so stay tuned. However, what else are we putting on sale this week, Liz?
Gleeners.
Yay, I love my Gleeners. We have so many fun. We brought in like stuff we'd been out of stock for a while during the yarn crawl. So the patterns, we have a wider variety of patterned Gleeners. So we wanted to offer them to you at a discount this week. So what we got? What you reading? What you doing?
Actually reading the instructions because, you know, I don't think I've ever read those. The Gleeners, they come with comb thing.
They come with a thing?
A comb
a
thing.
Lint brush?
A lint brush, but the comb thing to take the pills off of your sweaters.
Oh, I had no idea which thing she was trying to reference. Sweater comb. It's
the comb thing.
They have an edge on them that is like a pumice stone almost, and is geared towards de-pilling your sweaters. That is the major function of a Gleener. You glean them, you clean them of their little pills.
Comes with 3 edges. Edge 1 is large, bulky pills, best for wool and wool synthetic blends. Edge 2 is for medium to large blends, best for 100% synthetics and blends such as acrylic, polyester, rayon, fleece, natural fibers such as cotton, cashmere, and merino. And edge 3 is fine, delicate pills and fabrics for silk blends, fine cotton, natural and synthetic blends.
It's kind of like for wood, when you have sandpaper and you have coarse, medium, and fine. That's the little ends on this. So this is the Gleener on the go. There's a big handheld one that has like, still has this lint brush. This is the kind of lint brush I grew up with. Be careful of this lint brush on some really fuzzy yarns. If you use it on your sweater, will just like stick to it. but it will, it's a great lint brush. The handheld ones have like a lint brush on one side and one of the Gleener surfaces on the other. This is compact, good for travel. The same size and shape as the lint brushes I had as a kid. But that's the comb surface here. And the one that's on this one right now is the ultra fine. But it's got a little tab with an arrow. And if you pull on that and open it, here are the other two surfaces in there. And it's even got a picture for when you lose the instructions that tell you like which little comb surface you might want to use for which fuzzy surface. That's the like IKEA version of those instructions. So here's what you do is if you want to change them out, you just pop out this piece and you pull out, honestly, for a lot of, especially my bulkier knits, I use the coarsest setting. We can pop that on its side in place. We can put the one we just took out in its space so we don't lose anything and close it back up again. And then you just, if you go back through my videos a while back, I had a video of just me gleaning. It might have been my Lily Kate Makes Axis sweater, because if something is soft and made out of yarn, it will pill. And here's the solution. And people will say, don't over glean. Like glean it too many times, you might wear it out, wear it thin. I think it takes a long time for that to happen, but I am not a reputable source of information on that. I have heard that, I have not seen that. And my striped sweater, which is made out of an alpaca wool, super fine, like almost fingering weight, I've had to glean that sucker multiple times. Nothing of it looks like it's going to fall apart yet. So I think these are fantastic. We love our gadgets in the shop.
I like the lint brush. Like, it's great for not just sweaters, cat hair, lint in your mask.
Life.
Yeah.
So we have these little bags. Like we both have the same bag here, but you can get the, and the bag, like what you'll see online, the bag is retro spring. But then you either will have a retro spring Gleener inside. So you look for retro spring as a combo, or
solid red Gleener
with the retro spring. So the bags, all the different designs come with one color of a solid option and one print that coordinates with the bag. So we have most of these in stock right now. And I want to put this back into the sleeve.
This one is the Sedona Deco.
And that's the one I have. The solid version is what I have.
And the gray, I think.
It's gray.
Yep.
Yes. And so it's got
just
a really
plain.
Cute, like, it looks like tulips on it or something.
Yep.
A lot of these have flowers of some kind. Just trying to get this back in.
We have some brights.
That one is fun. I'm so glad we could get that one back in.
This one is sugar bloom print.
I don't know if people saw the bag. There we go.
Pinks and
purples and yes.
Bright.
And I want to say the solid with that is a fuchsia. Do we have that? And then she dropped.
It slid right off my lap.
I like the pattern. It goes with the pattern on your dress, actually.
Yes.
Which people. She's got this on her dress. Okay.
It's a purple fuchsia.
It's a purple fuchsia. And again, you keep holding it to me. I want them to see. I mean, not that you'll see absolute true color. It is a purpley fuchsia. So it's pretty, but it's intense. And it's, yes, between purple and fuchsia. And that's the Bahama Breeze, something Breeze.
Breezy Belize.
Breezy Belize. I was getting there.
Blues and greens and breezy.
It's like swirly paint on this one. It's still flowers, but it looks more like swirly paint. I think there's a little bit of a flowery like behind it, but it's much more like modern, symbolic. I don't know what word I'm looking for. Here's the solid. It is turquoise, and it's a pretty pale turquoise. So we have all of these in stock right now. So what is that? 4 different.
I want to say we have a couple others that aren't.
They might not be. They might not be in the basket, and they might not be in stock.
Okay,
I don't know. These are the ones we have a lot of stock of. So we have 4 main bag designs with solids and prints. What are we retailing these for?
We are retailing them for $13.95.
Nice. And you get 15% off this week with the code product of the week. And since the sun is out, we might actually have some people come to in-person sit and stitch, which remember is outside weather dependent. We're probably going to wrap up and go set that up just in case anyone rolls in, because they might be trying to beat the rain. So I will do my best to get these up online before the video is published. But remember, double check in the category or make sure the code works and contact us rather than pushing the buy button. If it looks like the code's not working, contact us. So remember, product of the week with spaces. If you go to the product of the week category on our website, the instructions are at the top of that category listing. Trying to help as much as we can, So tomorrow is Dear Becky and Lizzy edition of the Sun Dragon Sideshow. We have 1 card that came in the mail. And if you want to add any questions to our advice filming of the week, you can email
liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
And then Friday is not a filming day, but we will have virtual sit and stitch from 7 to 9 p.m. on Zoom, and you can join with the shop phone number
828-877-3550.
And then our next weekend virtual sit and stitch is not till the middle of July. So the next time we'll have a virtual sit and stitch after that is the following Tuesday. But we will have in-person sit and stitch this Saturday. We've got all kinds of stuff going on because Thursday we have a drop-in help time in the morning. Saturday afternoon, we have I'm doing things totally out of order here. But Saturday afternoon, we have a sit and stitch from 1 to 4 p.m. Saturday morning, we have a sock forum. It's like kind of like a drop-in help time, but it's focused around socks. So if you're like, I'm having trouble with my socks, but I didn't want to bug them, or I didn't think they had time, $20 to come by and get help or start on socks or just talk about socks, what have you. So lots going on. Everything that is a group, either class or drop-in time that's on the calendar is outside, weather permitting. So if it starts to rain and hail and blow, you can come in till it passes, but we won't be continuing the class or the session inside. It'll be, protect yourself from the weather and then go home. So anyway, we hope everyone is doing okay. And we will see you tomorrow to see if we can answer some questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good Wednesday. Bye-bye.